Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I see you're heading on in. Beautiful. How are you?
Fine, fine. Oh, let me take this. I didn't realize. I apologize.
It happens to me all the time. Don't worry.
I tried to dry my clothes. I didn't want to put them in the dryer,
I do the same stuff like on my chair here. And then if I start a Zumba sometimes in the morning, I'm like, oh no, I have my towel there or my shirt. It's all good. Beautiful. Anything I need to know before we begin? Let me see. Hold on. Did you send specific notes for today? No. Nope.
I did. I will. Time. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we'll do your introduction. I know you know what you want to talk about. You're a pro.
Okay. Thank you.
Hold on, sweetheart. You look really pretty.
Thank you.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are joined by Lucia, Arden. Exciting to have her back here with MDIV, God's Love Matters, and Most Rise to God's Truth, Restore and Keep America's Freedom. As an author, as a friend, as an advocate consultant, she's here to talk more about her work and what she's doing to help so many people. So welcome back today. How are you doing?
Just wonderful. I'm doing wonderful today. And actually, I'm so grateful to be on today with Podcast Business News in New York. It's amazing how we could carry on our communication through long distances across the nation. Yeah. And this is reflective of how we could work together as a nation to bring freedom, truth, and protect our legacy for the future. So just get to the point that we need to vote in freedom for America in 2024. That is actually what my main idea is today, is that we need to vote in freedom because of these reasons I will be discussing today. And I'll be saying a lot of items and important things, but that's the thesis for all of us. It should be, we need to vote freedom, and that is voting President Trump 2024. Absolutely. We have to vote President Trump 2024. And I've told you in many of my podcasts why. And but we'll begin with this beautiful statement that I met this beautiful military man that he just summed it up, because I asked him, what is something good to speak about for the podcast? What is most important to you? And you know what he said? And he is an active military individual that protects our country, that protects our country. But our beautiful Jill told us that I'm here to help America. But the thing is we're all are supposed to be here to help America together. We can't do it without each other. Mm-hmm. I know I have so many learnings to do, so many things that people could tell me what I have to work on to speak out on. But this is what he said, this beautiful military man. It says the important human rights include the right to life and liberty, freedom from slavery and torture, freedom of opinion and expression, the right to work and have education, and many more things. Everyone is entitled to these rights without discrimination. This is what's important. And when we lose our freedom, we don't have those things. Most of us live in very safe places, many of safe places, and I see their homes are spread apart. Some homes are very close together. We just watch certain newses. We don't know all the little details. And so I'll begin today. So we need to vote in freedom, and that's voting Trump 2024. Number one, President Trump has had many indictments. Why don't they spend so much time with protecting the children, finding the 60,000 children and more that are misplaced in the war? This is very serious. I looked that up before I prepared today about what they're doing about the children. Russia has them. We don't know. And all the children that are in these homes and secret camps, they can find them in our states, in our culture. They should spend more time on that. And these indictments are false. For example, I just looked it up. His name is Smith. He's a prosecutor to try to take Trump down. But he's known, he's a prosecutor to try to take Trump down. His name is Smith. He's an attorney. But he usually doesn't use proper laws, jurisdiction. They're very faulty and hypothetical. That's known in his work. So they hire him, for example, to try to take Trump down, and that is incorrect. Okay, I'm just giving an example. Are you with me? So they're hiring attorneys that are very that are hopeless to jurisdiction. They use hypothetical ideas that are very far-fetched. Okay, so that's one thing that shows. Then another thing, they spend so much time on that sexual issue with the women.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah, and the harassment and all
harassment.
that. Yep.
Then another thing is the conspiracy. Now they hired a judge named Tanya Chutkin that she was a former assistant public defender under Obama to take the case of Trump also. This is terrible. We need to cut that off. He needs to have a fair, non-biased judge. That's very important. These are all small little details that are important. And we need to realize that these indictments just are going to show more truth of how we really need to come to America's freedom and protect our country by our government officials, some of the government officials. The beautiful Republicans are doing a beautiful job under McCarthy and other Republicans, trying to passing laws, and trying to keep our country strong. We have to be appreciative of that. But on the other hand, they have argument and control and other political officials, and also billionaires, hidden billionaires, and people that are trying to take us down. So we need to pray that all these indictments are clear and finished, and we need to vote Trump 2024. Then we need to realize about the human trafficking. The human trafficking is caused by many things. I told you that China is the largest billionaire company that is a criminal company, billionaire company that's a criminal company that goes through the borders in all different areas to use human trafficking. They're billionaires, brothers and sisters, but they use human trafficking. They hurt our country. They come through the borders. We need to build those walls. The Fenelton, they stopped talking about the Fenelton deaths. You know, we need to realize thousands and thousands of people died of Fenelton that they put in the medicines and they put other. Okay, so the children are most important. Otherwise, we're a pagan nation. But children is finding the children where they need to be found in Russia, making some type of negotiation. And prayer will work. Prayer will work, okay? Because they say, I looked up again, that they said that the war is still on in Ukraine and Russia. They don't know when there's going to be an end. Some way we need to integrate the children and find these children. They took them all out of the orphans. Plus, the children were separated from the parents that died and got separated. Some of the parents died, some got separated. Thousands of children, thousands. I just saw the 60,000 before, early on in months. This is very important that this has to be taken care of. Another point is, these are all separate points that are essential, is that we need to realize that in early March 2023, the Council of Europe Commissioner of Human Rights, Dunja Mijatovic, called for an urgent action to reunite Ukrainian children that were transferred to Russian occupied territories. See, they're working on this, but we need some way to negotiate this. And when Trump gets in, he will negotiate this. Then another issue, okay, so we took care of that. This is very important. But so the reason why I mentioned President Trump first, okay, is because he has the coat of giving his coat of life to protect his own country and his own people. Did you know that we need freedom, safety first? President Trump always made safety first. We need a president that brings safety first, but safety is protecting with the military and economy and our communities, our people's individual, on and on, our small and large businesses. But our children are watching all this. We can't have to make good history, okay, for our children and protect our children in many ways, okay? So then another point is that I want to discuss is that the geopolitical, I told you, this is my coin of subject, the geopolitical power, the geopolitical economy, the globalization and technology, all four ideas, quattro, mass devastations that are used in devastation that could devastate our country, America, if we don't stay strong, and other countries. But then we have this other penta mass destruction is the 9 billionaires that are criminal companies. And that's what I'm so shocked, because I see it all works together. And that's why we need to realize that we have to come together in that there is more now. I see that I've seen today. It's not Iran wants to be powerful. Russia wants to be powerful. China and other countries. Do you know there's even a more strategic? I have a revelation that Iran is used as a powerhouse of military force. Okay, that they want to take over U.S. and Europe areas. That's why it's important. Syria is protected because every time they need to protect Syria, otherwise they'll come in and break open and open more and more to Europe if we don't protect them. Even though they come back, they're fed. They're fed by the money of the oil, because Iran is the richest, has money for oil. So they can hire many people, but we need to keep, and we can't leave there. This is like holding back. It's just like the prisoners. And when there's a crime, you need to put the prisoner, a serious murder crime, in jail. That's the same thing. These are crimes of trying to take over America and Europe. That's trickery. I saw that. But now do you understand? So that's the geopolitical power. Then the geopolitical economy, China and Russia working together, because we're spending all our money on hurricane, you understand, to fight. And they're trying to let us use our footing. But we're going to stay strong to protect hurricane, which we need to, because otherwise Russia's going to come in and also try to do the powerhouse of war. But then China is sitting back easy because they're all working together. But they think it's easy. They are in debt, but they're trying to take sociologically. Okay, they're stealing things as they're stealing secrets of agriculture now. In Epoch newspaper, EPOCH, they speak about this McKelliger, someone in the House, a Republican, stole all the points I've been telling you for years. My name's Lucia Arden. Arnie to give to the world. I've met 3 editions, and then A Rise to God's Truth. I begged to protect America from China and other countries. Number one, they set up police stations and businesses throughout all United States to try to integrate, to watch and control. The agriculture, I believe they should go no agriculture. And in Italy and other countries, they should never allow any CCP to buy any, and maybe even people that they may be hooked up with the CCP. And agriculture secrets and borders entries, the border entries they allowed, because they gave so much money to the warlords up in Northern California, all the marijuana drugs. And the marijuana drugs is controlled by almost 90% of illegal drug holders grown.
Wow.
And then you have phenolphthalein, okay? That thousands have died. And then you have universities that they gave money to. And even Biden and other people were related to that in Penn State. Other areas where they gave money, even my own beautiful Caltech California Technology in Pasadena, I love. It was Chinese money, and I saw a difference there. When I went there, I told you my computer was completely broken, and I had a lot of other things happening I won't mention because it was controlled by some communists and by the elite communist Democrats. Then the universities are paid off, I told you. Then the Republicans are addressing this. But we need to continue to protect yourself from China. They are in every integration sociologically with our apps. They control the apps. We talked about that with they only allow certain things in our United States to see, for the children to see subjects, but their country in China, they allow to see things that are about education. Then there's the geopolitical power, geopolitical economy. See how all the countries are working together. Remember I told you China and then Iran and in Afghanistan. We can't go away from Syria. That's like leaving when we left Afghanistan. We have to be very, very careful. Then there's the World Health. And I'm saying all these things because President Trump, these all happen after President Trump. Okay? These things happen after President Trump came in. He was trying to balance them out and fix them, which he was, and he did. Then a geopolitical, but because there's technology, everything can go very, very fast, brothers and sisters. And because we already lost our footing under Obama and Bush even. So we lost the footing of economy, and he was trying to get us up, and he did. He made sure there was tariffs and bringing back small, large businesses and putting America first and our country first and military, protect us from military and the children and the seed of life. Then there's World Health. World Health, we have to be careful. We have to have different people on the board, just not scientists, because they have to protect children, protect people. That we should never have mandatory vaccination. We should make our own choices. Do you hear me? Mm-hmm. I proved that point in February after the vaccination. We shouldn't have vaccinations. They should not be mandatory. They don't have enough statistics. But because I see things ahead and I have ability to see, I had that ability at that point in the things I've said to say no and why. But I had logic. It's just not because I prayed and said something. There was logic. God is always logic. Life here in America and the world and the best intention for people is logic. It's logic not to have vaccinations. It's logic not to just have scientists and World Health. Okay? Because there might be another. So we need to stop that. We have parents. We need to have parents. We need to have ministers and conservative ministers, rabbis and priests. Yeah. Even if they're Muslim, they could be conservative. Children first. Children first. We need to come together. We are all created by God, and we can get together. We're the shining gold beauty of God's love. In America, we have so many people, and they're all were different. There's Muslim, there's Hindu, there's Jewish, there's Christian, there's Catholic, there's Mormon. We all got together. We all came, but we put America first under a conservative value of a constitutional rights, Declaration of Independence, and not controlled by elite communists. And we empowered the people. We didn't control them.
Yeah.
And then there's the next point. The next point is that we need to realize that I saw they want to try to take away the 401ks of the people. I didn't get to read it all, but I'm warning you, we need to get Trump in as fast as you can, because they want to take away the monies that people work for. First, they tried to take Social Security away. I know how it is. I was married to a man older than me for 20 years. I saw his work, whether he wasn't perfect or not. He was a beautiful doctor. Mm-hmm. I worked side by side and with a lot of older people. I was mostly with older people for over 20 years, and I saw them work. They built America. Whether they were nurses, doctors, lawyers, trashmen, mail lady. I remember the mail lady. She was older, and she used to come to me, and I would give her some extra money. She needed something. She would come to my door, and she would complain, and I would pray with her. Yeah. And cleaning ladies, I would pray, and other elite people in my living room and pray hand in hand. I saw blood, sweat, and tears. They protected their country. We have to allow children and people to keep their own 401k.
Yeah.
Okay, then we need to cut off this wokeism, which I heard that's what McCarthy says is against the law now. Also, I heard that McCarthy said that he's allowing to mine oil, which we have to realize that even electricity is beautiful, but we don't have all the resources yet of the solar apparatus. You know what I mean? We don't have the energy to have all that. And anyways, the cars, I was shocked because I have to take Uber because I've been in many car accidents because they try to kill me. And I'm not trying to be a victim. I'm just trying to tell you that they try to get anybody they can that speaks out. But I've been doing this for years. And we're going to take care of it. We are going to work together. And I'm not mad. I'm so happy because I see people working together and the House is doing such a beautiful job. And McCarthy said that we are going to mine oil. But let's go back to cars. It takes electricity. I take Uber. So long in the electric car, they have to get electric and stop. Is electric always going to be there in certain areas at each gas station? But it's beautiful. We can't condemn that, but it's beautiful. We have electricity, but we have to have a balance. We need to use our energy. Then we need to talk about the homeless. Okay, this is it. I know why. I know why. I've spent a lot of time thinking about it, and I had the solutions because I'm telling you in the news that I'm trying to make solutions to empower the people, to empower. They said that it was in 2020, they spent $20 billion, in California, but they keep on giving a lot of money, many, many monies to California. But what they do is the people, they build these homes in places and they put them in these shelters, but they allow them to come back to live on the streets because they say they want to take the drugs, the drugs and mental health. They have to force them to stay inside the places. They have to force them to stay inside the places. They can't ruin the cities. They're sick because many, can't you see the elite communists under China, I believe, threw in all those drugs for those people. That's what I believe, to bring down our country. We need to get those people in California. We need to put them in a place where they have to stay there. Whether there's a lockdown or not, they have to stay there. They can't go ruin the streets. They're sick. They're sick because of the drugs and they're sick because of mental health. But then a beautiful man told me in Arizona, he was so beautiful. And for some reason, I was going to stay close, rent his studio, but wasn't able to get it. But he said, Lisa, I said, is there anything I need to say? And he told me, I want you to tell them that they are allowing drugs, injection drugs on the street of San Francisco to drug up everything right in front of the street. They ruined all the streets. And he was like in tears almost. You could see he could barely talk. This is his country. He's worked blood, sweat, and tears. And I went to San Francisco, so there's a beautiful places there. So they spend billions and billions of dollars. So what happened is the statement it said on the statement where I read that the fault is the law. They have a faulty law. There's a federal injunction they're trying to make against it. They can't force people in a lockdown if they have a drug issue. We need to change the law. Whether they're changing or change their mind, I'm not sure what they're doing exactly, but we need to get those people that inject drugs and drug addicts and take them into a place that they are locked down. In mental health, they need to stay there. We cannot have drugs on the street of San Francisco. We need to protect our country. They have many, many tests. They said 50% go there, then take the 50% out and do it. And they penalize and they stay in this position. Even if they make an excuse, they put on fires on the shelters. Then what's the damn things? These are drugs that China brought through an elite communists to ruin our country. Can't you see at all? So what I'm trying to tell you, think a little bit. I told you about that coin of ideas I told you, but there's deeper than that. These countries are all working together against America to try to control her. Then, as I told you, Rickards Tika, all those beautiful people, Lango, just I could go on and on. I don't want to miss all the people that are good people about economy. They're using, I told you, the dollar. They're not using it to trade anymore. Monies like trade, oil trade, gas. Saudi Arabia wants to use its own. China wants to use their own. Russia wants to use their own. In Euro, in India, Africa, they want to use their own monetary system. We always got money from that. And that's good. We shouldn't be ashamed that we always got money from that. We always are the ones that were protecting people first, like we're doing Syria. But now it's time we have to be careful because our dollar, it gets a little weak. I saw that it was a little bit weak, but all the currencies are weak today. But inflation is low, And so, but if we bring manufacturing back in America, small businesses, and we have to, I told you, this is another coin idea. I told you, in 10 to 30 years, if we don't bring manufacturing small business back, we won't have the contracts. There'll be other countries involved. Don't you get it? We won't have so many contracts only between our country. It's possible, we could just have our own United States, then we'd have to have a really big military to protect, which we do. And so we need to vote Trump. We need to vote Trump. And I had a vision to make it simple for the children, okay? A vision, and because I am an artist, and I did begin with teaching children in Bible study, actually, and children for vocation with problems. Many teenagers would come to me. I was the one that drove a lot of the children and listened to all their problems. Many, many children, hands and hands full. I've talked about their problems, things, but there's things we have to think about. The orange color, tell the children, is like that orange color of the energy of life that God wants to save his people. He gets fiery upset that he'll do anything to save his people. He never forsakes us, because we have a covenant with him. But then also he polishes us. Like you need to polish up after you make a beautiful, beautiful anything that you make, your gift, you polish and you shine your shoes up. That's the same thing, sisters and brothers, little children, that we need to shine up all of our gifts to protect America. Okay, then there's the word red. Urgency, urgency, urgency. We need to take care. We need to vote President Trump. We need to vote to protect the children right away and find all those children to have the billionaire women and men, find them. And we need to bring our manufacturing back. We need to see that Biden really has a cahoots. Did you know that? It's in my Facebook. I didn't get to finish studying it. Someone sent it to me. They knew I had this. They just popped out in my computer that Biden and his son had a cahoots. It's called the Burma with hurricane, where they invested monies with something going on that's not right, and it's going to come out in the okay. I heard about this, yeah. And then green, we need to grow, which we are through in the empowerment and the love of the beauty of. See, the House is doing a beautiful job in America. The people are doing a beautiful job. President Trump is going to be president 2024. He is president. They're trying to bring him down. Can't you see? Why won't they pull the guys back with the hair like this, like they did on surgery to say, and get he doesn't even have any damn hair anymore. Because that's fine, he doesn't have any hair, but he doesn't have it. He's not going by it. He can't. He doesn't have feet on the ground by the words that can't explain of the tragedy and of conspiracy and crime against your own people. But even the House says it. It's not even me.
We are out of time. Sorry that you always tell us how we can reach you. I love
and divine life is blue and purple, brothers, little children. It's the beauty that there's a divine intention. There's a certain way that we could do. It's justice of love. I call it justice of love. You could find me by www.LuciaArden.com and arise to God's truth.com. That's where all my podcasts are and writings, and I'm a speaker, but I also am a consultant. I also have a tender way where I could help people with relationships, marriages and fallouts, and delivering to be fair, because there's people have relationships together, but they don't marry. And I think we need to correct this. So there's not that many marriages. I mean, marriage has decreased. We need to protect the men and the women for this type of culture. So then they respect each other, because then when they separate, they lose. That's the same thing. We need to respect our country, respect each other. And thank you so much. My name is Lucia Arden. I appreciate your time. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Thank you. Have a beautiful day.
You too.
Thank you. Vote Trump. Vote Trump. Stand up and vote. Everyone vote Trump. Yes.
Broadcasting from the business
Yes.
capital of
We
the world.
stand on our feet together and vote Trump.
News Network.
Yes. Vote Trump.